Mass born and raised, and all I can say is being broke is the only life I've ever known. Why is that so accurate? I mean, I haven't been born here or raised here, but I can tell you that if you make $100,000 in Boston, you're broke, okay? You're very, very broke. Even if you make 120K or 130K, you still broke. The only way to not be broke is to live with your family members or to have about 2 roommates. Or you just gotta be one of those people that makes 6 figures with a 2 in the front, right? Then you can actually afford life here. And yeah, we got all these medical benefits and education and opportunities, and it's safe, and we got all of that, right? But we are all paying for it on the end of the day, okay? Guess what? When you go to Germany, you literally have all that stuff all inclusive. It's like an all-inclusive resort. You go to the ER, nothing. You go to school, medical school, zero. You don't pay anything. And if you want to walk on the street at night, no problem, okay? The only thing that might attack you is a chicken.
Yeah, I want to make a point here. I think that people need to learn to get along with their family. They need to get along with their families so that they can live with their families longer. This should have been the case already. We should have been stockpiling. We should have had kids living with their parents until 25, stockpiling that bread until they could then afford to move out and get their own place with a huge fat down payment on a house. That should have always been the goal. But instead, if you're 23 and you're living with your parents, you're considered a loser, no matter how much you have saved up. I mean, it's awful. I got no problem with people living with their parents until they're 30. I got no problem with people living with their parents past 30 if they've got a big enough place. If they've got a mother-in-law's apartment and you're living there, you got a wife, 1 kid, the grandparents can help out with the child. It's brilliant. Jake Day, we're going to be going over the struggles that 6-figure makers are currently going through in this economy, where it seems like everybody is getting hit from all ends, whether they're not getting raises or they're having their prices on everything that they have, from insurance to property taxes to milk to your power bills. Everything seems to be going up a lot faster than paychecks. And so that's led us to where we are now, where even people who are making 6 figures are struggling to live a good life. Don't forget to like the video, and let's get going.
I'm 41 years old. I went to school for 8 years and paid back 80 grand in student loans to become a physical therapist with a doctoral degree. I've been making 6 figures for 12 years now. Long time, whole boatload of money.
Is someone pissing in the background?
I am broke. Our mortgage, we're lucky enough to own a home. Our mortgage is not an overtly huge percentage of our income. We're not big spenders. We don't even spend on vacations, because another piece of privilege is I married into a family that actually has a vacation home on a beach or near a beach. It's very nice. We don't pay to stay there. We're not big spenders. We drive 2 used cars, and the cost of living has nearly
A 1969 Shelby GT is a used car.
forced us to sell our house and move in with my mother-in-law, I guess. I don't know. I didn't go to school for as long as I did and pay back 80 grand in student loans so that I could be broke. This economy is horseshit. It's absolute horseshit. Every day I wake up, I seethe with anger. And I work in home health, and I drive through the countryside, and I see gorgeous, 3, 4, 5,000 square foot houses. They're being built brand new, and they're being built by boomers. Yeah. Because nobody who's 41 years old right now has $500,000, 750 grand to spend on a brand new house. The average American household income is like 75 grand. The average American income for a household needed to buy a house is around 125 grand. It's insanity.
I love comments like this. Maybe you could sell and make a killing on your house. And go where? Exactly. Live in your mom's basement for 5 years and wait for the housing market to collapse in that meantime? And how much do you expect it to crash? 20% at most would be a stretch. Actually, what is the largest housing collapse? In the US during the Great Recession following the housing bubble peak around early 2006, the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index fell from about 198 to 114, negative 42% over 6 years. If you had to estimate based on available evidence, a drop in the range of 30 to 40% over 2 years would be among the largest documented globally. One of the problems you're going to have with making six figures and complaining about it is that not everyone is going to feel sorry for you. There are plenty of people who are getting by just fine, who are making half as much money as they are. This is the type of response that you're going to get from most people.
There's a video going around right now of a dude who's a physical therapist and did 8 years of school, $80,000 off student loans. But he paid all the student loans off, which was a total of $80,000, like I said. But this guy goes on to tell us he's making six figures a year for the last 12 years. That's a decade and 2 years. And he's saying in his video that he can't afford to live basic necessities, and his mortgage, he's lucky to be able to pay his mortgage. Now, this is a physical therapist, 6 figures a year for the last 12 years, and this person is claiming they're going broke. And I watched the video in its entirety, and I still cannot understand what this person means by they're going broke. They gave us no understanding of where this money is going. I can only infer that something is going on here. I don't know. I can't
Alimony.
state. But maybe you guys have an idea. How are you making six figures for the last 12 years and somehow you are broke?
At 25, I'm on track for six-figure months. How did I do this? Well, let me tell you exactly how.
Do I have to click the link down in the description?
But what is the number one thing that got me from broke to talking about money that most people will never see in their lives?
Selling online courses.
I am a six-figure earner, and this inflation is kicking my butt. None of my normal expenses, like my house, my car, those payments have not changed. However, the grocery bills, the electricity, the things that were very small that were on auto pay can no longer be that. And I'm at a point where I had to have a conversation with ChatGPT about what would be
All right, let's see where this goes.
the effects if I stop paying two of my largest debt payments that I'm making. And you know what ChatGPT said? Do it.
Did she say what type of bill it was? If it was medical bills, I could see that.
Do it. Let it go to collections. Pick it back up when they offer you a good settlement amount and pay it off. And by 2027, you'll be back at a 700 credit score. And you know what? I'm going
2027, that's in less than 2 years. A collection can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years from the original delinquency. The 7-year period starts from the date of the original delinquency, not the date the debt was sent to collections. Medical debt. There are exceptions. Unpaid medical collections of 500 or more may appear, but paid medical debt and medical debt under 500 will not appear on credit reports. Some newer scoring models like Vantage Score 3 and FICO 9 ignore paid collections, but many lenders still use older models that are affected.
I make well over $120,000 a year that I am in the position that I'm in, where after I paid all of my basic necessity bills, I have nothing left over. And when I say I don't have anything of extraordinary value, I live in a normal size home, okay? Nothing fancy. I drive a Kia. I don't have anything that's luxury. I don't have anything that's excessive that I'm spending on. I'm literally just spending normal amounts of money. The fact that my grocery bill, I went back because I order my groceries from Walmart. I went back from my grocery orders back then until now. My grocery bill has damn near tripled. Damn near tripled.
That's a better way to get an idea of how much more you're spending, because depending on the size of household, grocery bills can go from $300 a month to $900. Well, if you have a large home with a bunch of kids, it can go from $1,200 a month to $3,600 a month. Even with making $120K, where is that? Where do you live? New York? $120K in Idaho, you'd be living in luxury. It looks like you've got nice nails, nice hair, pretty nice room that you're in. I haven't seen the rest of your house, but for all we know, you say you live normal or a middle life, but what is normal to you? What is your idea of what a normal life is? What did you grow up with? Did you grow up with a boat? Did you grow up with an RV in your family? Did you grow up going on vacations? That's what you would consider normal if that's how you grew up.
So you know what? We're gonna eliminate the payments of the debt. I'll pay my credit cards, but there's a few loans that I just have decided I'm not paying that shit, and I refuse to work paycheck to paycheck to come home and have nothing after I work like a dog all week. I'm not doing it.
So to have a six-figure income, you need to make $8,333 per month, or $2,083 per week, or $416.66 each workday, or $52 per hour.
Shut up.
One thing I don't understand is how suddenly people think $100,000 is not a lot of money. Like, what the heck are you spending your money on? As someone who is fortunate enough to make six figures, I know for a fact that $100,000 is a lot of money. And you think that's not a lot of money, then you clearly have one of two issues. One, you live in a high cost of living area like I do, and yeah, your money doesn't go as far here, but there are things you can do to fix it. You could just move to a lower cost of living area. Not that hard. Or two, convinced that this argument comes from the fact that our generation loves instant gratification, when in reality, not a lot of people are making that kind of money, and it is definitely a lot of money.
It says California, 100 grand is now considered low income. $150,000 in New York spends like 40 grand somewhere else, or 35 grand in San Francisco. I'm an elder millennial, so I'm a product of the American dream that was taught to us and socialized to us in our head, where go to college, go to grad school, get your degrees, you'll get the six-figure job, you'll get the house, and your world will be excellent. And that turned out to be a fucking farce. I went to Northeastern in Boston, then I went to LSE in London, and then I started working at Credit Suisse in New York City. And I learned very quickly that six figures does not equate to an easy life. Six figures in markets like New York, Boston, Washington, D.C., San Diego, L.A., San Francisco, Seattle, and Chicago, a couple of places. But the main economic hubs in this country, it's not a great life. It's enough for you to work an exorbitant amount of hours so you're exhausted, right? And then to be able to treat yourself here and there, but actually take care of the necessities. When we were growing up, six figures meant you had a house in the upper middle class neighborhood. You had enough money for vacations. You had enough money to put in your retirement. You had enough money to put in your kids' college fund. You had all these things. But to come online and say that six figures is a lot of money and then say it's not relative is a lie. And I hate that people come online and lie to people who are aiming to attain a certain level of success or wealth, and stop lying to these kids that 100 grand is a lot of money when 100 grand is a survival amount of money to make it in most places. California, 100 grand is now considered low income. Now, the people who are making six figures live and work in the financial hubs of America, which coincide with being the most expensive places to live in America. And you say, yes, I could move to a cheaper, more cost-effective place to live, but then your salary takes a 40% nosedive. And people are back in the office. We're not working remotely like we used to. So what is the solution to where $150,000 in New York spends like 40 grand somewhere else, or 35 grand in San Francisco? It's not a lot of money. And as someone who lives in Los Angeles and makes a decent amount of money and still doesn't have the house that I want, the dream was a lie, bro. Don't come in here and lie to these people, because you're overworking yourself, overexerting yourself, and you're not getting rewarded for the payout that you should be, because the American dream is dead. You got to be asleep to be able to live it.
All right, let's check out some of these comments. Elder Millennial here. I grew up in a family of six, supported by a low six-figure income and a stay-at-home mom. We had a 7-bed, 5-bath with swimming pool. Nice. Every kid got a car, money for college, regular vacations, and the earning parent maxed out their retirement, and they gave 10% to church and more to charity. I earn more now, and it's just me, and I'm just barely scraping by. Jeez. Well, where are you living? Again, that'd be the start. 2, what are you spending that money on if you're barely scraping by? Clearly, your rent needs to be reduced, or your car payment needs to be reduced. Those would be the first places I would look. Those are the highest expenses. Those are the first places I'd look.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but you are not behind, okay? True wealth does not come fast. Keep working hard and doing what you're doing. Your time is going to come. Because people like to come and challenge what I say, I always come with facts, okay? Look at this bar graph. This is from 2021. This is the median income in US dollars. And it says for people aged 25 to 34, the median income is $71,566. Also, look at this. This is also for median weekly earnings by age and sex. It's posted on the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You guys know I love BLS.gov. But in order to be making six figures in a year, you need to be bringing in about $2,000 a week. You see the average for all these people, all these ages? The percentage of people in the United States making six figures has increased over the years. I think it's about 30%, but that doesn't go into detail about like what ages those are. So don't let people shame you into thinking you're not working hard enough because you don't have this like huge tech job that's paying you crazy six figures. Another thing I want to add, look at this. Newsweek posted this article. 42% in the United States earning six figures live paycheck to paycheck. So even of the people making six figures, it's still hard for them to obtain wealth. And I have so many theories on why I think that is, but I just wanted to put this message out there because I see so many people feeling bad and upset and angry with themselves for not making six figures.
It takes one theory. It's lifestyle creep. The more money you make, the more money you spend. If you make $160,000, you're going to go out to eat a lot more than if you make $80,000.
At one point in time, I used to be a 27-year-old sales rep. I was doing quite well. This was 8 years ago, mind you. I was making $120K, and still I had the Sunday scaries. I felt like I should have been excited about life. Good income, respect for my peers, had the apartment, the new car. On paper, it felt like I'd made it. But instead, I was dreading every single Monday because I knew that my income was resetting. And I was 90 days away from being back to the internship level, being put on a PIP because of this what have you done for me lately mentality. Didn't matter that I closed the biggest deal on the team in December. January 1st, it's like it never happened. And some of you might say, duh, that's sales. Sunday scaries at 27 with a six-figure income was blowing my mind. There's such a massive difference between making 10K in commissions and having that reset every month and 10K in MRR, monthly recurring revenue.
That's the thing about sales jobs is you can make a ton of money if you're good at sales right away and quickly, but it's going to become a hamster wheel unless you get some sort of residual payments. This is one of the things that's popular with selling insurance is that as long as your clients continue to pay their premiums, you're going to keep getting residual from that client long term. That's why Patrick Bet David is a multimillionaire.
Not all six-figure jobs are flashy, but some of them are just quietly stacking cash. I'm going to kick off my 6-part series of what I call unsexy jobs that absolutely make bank by going over some of the less flashy or not talked about jobs that you might want to get into if you're just starting your career and you want to get to six figures as quickly as possible.
What does the overlord think? What's the most boring job? Data entry clerk, security guard, especially night shifts, unless you want to be an author. Toll booth operator. That I would say that would be the most boring job. Factory line worker, accountant, entry level, call center agent. I think that's probably the worst job, regardless of it being boring. And document reviewer. List any other boring jobs if you can think of them.
I'm 21 years old and I make multiple six figures a year, but I go broke every month. Whenever I receive money, I instantly put it to work, meaning I don't leave anything in the bank collecting dust and losing value due to inflation. A big portion goes into investments such as stocks. Every month, I automate a couple $1,000s into the top 500 publicly traded companies as well as individual stocks. Another big portion goes into a savings account to make sure I have money to pay my taxes. Fuck taxes. But trust me, you'll want to do this. Finally, unless I need any new business equipment, the rest pretty much goes into my living expenses or emergency fund. I'm a simple man. I like to thrift my clothes and I pretty much only shop at Costco. I try my best to live below my means, which
shopping at Costco and thrifting? That's funny. Remember when that actually used to be a financially smart move?
allows me to save and invest so much money, at least to me. If you want to learn how I got here, drop a comment below and ask me questions and I'll make sure to respond. Have a great day.
No one talks about how easy it is to be making six figures but still feel like there's never enough money, or like you're always waiting for the next paycheck. And that's why it's so easy to fall into the trap of spending everything you make or incrementally increasing your lifestyle. I'm gonna upgrade here, I'm gonna get this new place, I'm gonna immediately buy this house. And then before you know it, you're trapped in the golden handcuffs and you can't leave your job or explore other opportunities if you want to take it. That's why even if you're a high earner, one of the most important important things you can do for yourself is detach your lifestyle from your full-time job income. What I mean when I say that is don't depend on everything in your life from your main full-time salaried income.
I just came up with an idea because I'd be a multimillionaire by now if I treated investing like a payment. So you have an app and you're billed for this app. You're billed $100, and really it's just going into an investment. And if you don't pay that amount every month, they charge that amount from your balance. So if you've got $10,000 in there and your monthly payment on it is $100, if you don't make that $100 payment at the end of the month, they're going to take $100 from that $10,000 balance. Unfortunately, this would probably only work for that 1 month that you don't make the payment, because then people would just close it. Thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to like the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.